Okay guys, welcome to my doorway. Here, this is the second video after the intro. So if you haven't watched the intro and you've landed on this, maybe watch that, which will give you a bit more intel on what these videos are going to be in this series discussing. But in a nutshell, it's about Qigong. This video is going to be about, it's a cheat really, on the nervous system and motor control. And you're going to hopefully feel your arm float on its own accord without any muscular contraction. This series of videos is going to be on the paradox in Qigong of how to move the arms without moving the arms. So this cheat sort of exercise, which will give you an idea of what a high level of Qigong should feel like, is called, it's German, so excuse the translation from me, but I think the Kohnstamm effect. We used to do it in the 80s as kids, where you just put the back of your hand and maybe a little bit of the wrist and you press it into a wall. So it could be any kind of flat object, a wall, or doorway with two, which I'm going to do today. And you hold it, that isometric contraction is going to push in, and then when you pull it away and relax, the arms float up on their own accord. The nervous system still has some residual motor control push into it, so it still carries on the activity even though you've pulled away from the wall, and you get this floatingness of the arm, which you can, if you relax, you can get a few more goes out of it before you get diminished returns and the effect stops. So let's do it. If you've done this for if you haven't done this before, you probably want to go for about 60 seconds. I'm used to doing this. I can relax into it and dial in the right amount of pressure, so I'm going to stop probably after about 20 seconds or so. I could have picked a better door. This one's like riddled with ridges and stuff, so, and it's actually quite wide. But anyway, I'm going to push in now. Now it's the back of the hand and a bit of the wrist. Again, my fingers come off. It doesn't have to be the fingers either. And you don't want to, actually I'm just going to stop, you don't want to be leaning, if you're doing it one arm on the wall, you don't want to be leaning the arm and the shoulder in and pushing. It just really wants to isolate it to the back of the hand, maybe a smidge of the wrist. You don't need to, depends how easily you bruise, but it has to be a decent amount of pressure for the nervous system to have some residue left over to get the effect once you pull away. So this is probably enough for me. If you're doing this whilst watching, keep going. If I stay and relax now, that's such a cool effect. Rarely will the arm go above the shoulder, and if you relax down, you get a few more goes out of it before you get, as I said, diminished returns. It's kind of fading now. But the arm is just completely moving on its own accord. I can't feel any muscular tension in my shoulders or anything lifting the arm. And so this is the effect that I want to show people of when we are trying to move the arms without moving the arms. If the body and everything else is aiding the arms to be moved on their own accord, then we should have this empty feeling in the arms, which is very different than if we start a movement, whatever it is, by moving the arms itself. With us doing it with the arms, we create tension. When everything else is doing it and the arms come along for the ride as a passenger, then you feel this emptiness, and with that emptiness can come the sensation of qi movement at a higher level.